Welcome, fellow trackers. I'm Nick Metzger, and my partner, my co-host in crime, is none other than Mr. Sean Abbott. We are so happy you're here this week. We are going to be talking about all kinds of things, like Xbox bringing their xCloud to Amazon. Hellblade 2 has apparently not done as well as we had hoped, even though it looks freaking amazing. And my ears have fallen off my head. I knew it was going to happen. Sean. It wasn't as bad as the first time, but this time, the mouse is in the house, folks. I went to Disney. That's why we were not here last week. I was off doing amazing, fun Disney ride things. Anyways, what else are we going to talk about? Oh, speaking of, let's just go right into it. Our feature story is going to be Xbox, and what would it look like if they made an Xbox world for an amusement park type thing? So those are the things we're going to be talking about.
Phil Spencer got into bed with Walt Disney, they'd have a love child. That's what that would look like.
That's what.
Also, that was really horrible. We're thinking about it, but
I was trying not to to really think about it, but it was really hard. It wasn't working out at all. Man, Sean, I haven't spoke to you in 2 weeks. How have you been?
I've been okay. I've been busy. So the week that you were off gallivanting and walking the several tens and miles you were doing at Disney with the kids, I worked flat out. I was going to try and do a little half-an-hour audio thing, but I just hit the pipe, went to work basically, and just worked it all. I thought I get all that out and done out of the way. Done a lot of go-karting, playing dad taxi and taking people to places. So I took the girls to Liverpool. They went to see Taylor Swift while they were off watching Taylor Swift. I took the time to go and play in some electric go-karts, which was quite fun for the first time I'd ever done that. They have a fantastic little boost function that you pick up every 5 seconds. In the lap, you get this 5 seconds of boost, which when I've read about it a little bit more, it kind of takes the limitation off the cart. So it's not kind of boost, it just takes the limitation of how fast you can go. So you're better to use it when you're at full speed. Then the week after that, the time that I wasn't working, I took Jaya and her friend up to Manchester, which is quite close to Liverpool. It's a half an hour difference. They went and watched Green Day, which I was very jealous about because it looked like it was a fantastic gig that they went to. While they were doing that, I went go-karting. So I've done a lot of go-kart. I've done for 3 weeks, 3 weekends in a row. I have go-kart every weekend, and I've thoroughly loved it. So I'd go again this weekend, but we've got a fancy dress party to go to. So.
Yeah, nice. I'm not going to lie. So it was the week before that we left that that the ladies went to Taylor Swift. It happened. Hey. All right, Mouse, you're done. See you later. I'm done with you. The mouse ears are gone. I felt so dumb. I could not get it right. You're like, we're packing. Or you're like, we're getting ready to go or something like that. I'm like, a few hours, I'm like, how's Taylor Swift? You're like, no, it's not today. And I was like, oh, okay. And then the next day you were like, yeah. You said something. I was like, oh yeah. So how is Taylor Swift tonight? Right. You're like, no, it's not. I was like, when the hell is this? I can't. I was actually nervous the third night. So I was like, oh my God, if I ask again and it's still not Taylor Swift, I swear I give up.
So we did the podcast the Tuesday. We got everything packed and ready on the Wednesday because, we left Thursday evening. I picked Lindsay up from work with Jay, and we kind of went straight from her leaving work. So we kind of had tried to get everything packed ahead of time. And then Friday was the actual gig, and they loved it. I've watched the videos and seen the photos and stuff like that, and she does put on a hell of a show. I mean, Taylor Swift isn't the kind of music that I am into, but for the money's worth that they got, they did a fantastic show. They watched Paramore was the supporting act, which was pretty cool. That's I touched an emo heartstring for music that I used to listen to when I had hair over my face. But yeah, so they had an awesome show. They had an awesome time.
Now, was this in London?
No, this was in Liverpool. So she did. So I think I want to get this right. 99, 100, and 101 was in Liverpool.
Okay.
So that was the 3 that they saw.
Okay. All right. Because I know there was, I was laughing because I saw that she was in London and some guy ran up on stage trying to streak in the middle of her show. And I was like,
oh, yeah.
I was like, I wonder who that was. I wonder if that was somebody I know.
Sorry. No. I think she's done Wembley twice. I think she's been to Wembley and then she did a couple more UK tour gigs places, and then she's gone back to Wembley as well. So.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool. I'm glad they had an awesome time. I'm glad you got all your go-karting in. I mean, Sean does good. Like he gets up there in the rank. He sends me the sheets that he makes or whatever. So
yeah, if I was like, I've worked out if I was 20 kilos lighter, but had the same strength that I have now, I'd never lose. But unfortunately, I am really heavy. I'm 100 kilos, so yeah, it takes a lot of power to move my ass in a go-kart. So.
Well, I mean, so it's like a jockey type thing, right? Because when they're those guys that ride the horses, they're always like the skinny, small dudes for obvious reasons. It's the same kind of thing.
Take a look at any Formula One driver. They are no heavier than about 65 kilos wet through. They're about 5'9". They are tiny, tiny little people. I think the only exception is Jenson Button, Damon Hill, and George Russell. I think they are the tallest of Formula One drivers. And it's not very nice for them because they end up cramped into this small cockpit.
So I got the height to be a Formula One driver, just not the width. Okay, I gotta work on.
How was Disney anyway? How like you I'm so like this is the first time we have spoken in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Pretty much, and you've been to like the place that all children dream of going to, and grown adults that.
I was gonna say, I don't know
Disney films.
Yeah, it's as awesome. I'm not gonna lie, I was somewhat nervous because it's like you hear of like, well, one, people are like it's gonna be super hot. You're not even gonna enjoy it, and then it was like there's gonna be so much to be done, and you're gonna have to do all this stuff, and it's not gonna be, and you're just gonna have to be on your phone trying to see if you can even get it. And you're gonna be in line for hours. We really didn't experience any of that. Now, to be fair, we did the Genie Plus thing, which, man, if you want to get into that, go find a Disney podcast. They'll help you out with that. But we did the Genie Plus thing, which allows you to skip lines on certain rides. And we almost got to every ride. The two rides we missed, the two big ones we missed were Tron and Seven Dwarfs. And we missed those because that was our first park and we were green Disney newbies and we didn't understand how things worked. And we like walked up and we're like, hey, can we get on the Tron ride? There's no line for it. And he's like, yeah, dude, that's because you got to actually like do it in the virtual queue on your app. And I'm like, oh, let me do that. And he's like, no. He's like, those were gone like hours ago, pal. He's like, but nice try. Maybe tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm not coming back. So I guess I'm not doing that one. So there's like certain things you got to know. But like once you get your feet wet, it's like, okay, you start to figure it out. And man, there is nothing cooler than Star Wars Galaxy Edge Little World in Hollywood Studios. Like, and I'm not even like a huge Star Wars fan. Like, it's not like I don't live and breathe it. But when you walk up and you got like the Millennium Falcon and they've got it all looks like Star Wars and they've got it all decked out and people are serving like the blue juice and stuff like that, and you're just like, oh my gosh. And they're serving the pop in the little spherical balls to everybody, and there's a Galaxy Outpost where you can go get food that looks like the food in the Star Wars. I don't know. It was just super cool. And there's no better ride than Rise of the Resistance, let me tell you.
So that sounds pretty much ideal for our one and only Patreon member, Bruce, who is
oh my god,
who currently has his own show, the Star Wars Dads. It sounds like he would have been in absolute heaven.
It is so, and we got so lucky. So when like Rise of the Resistance has like a 2 to 3 hour wait, or you can spend money to lightning lane it, which gets you like to the front of the line. And I told my wife, I was like, if we're spending money on this Genie thing, I'm not lightning lane doing, particular. And so we were like running. We were going to make that our first thing we did because we knew it was crazy. And there's this lady, like everybody's running this one direction as you get into the park. And there's this lady with like 2 red flags. It's the best thing. She's waving them. She's like, Rise of the Resistance is not open. It's got a delayed opening. Please go find something else to do. No lines available. And so I'm like, crap. So we went to ride this Slinky ride. It sounds dumb, but it's actually a really fun roller coaster. It's this Slinky dog, and it's like, anyways. But then we got done with that one, And I just opened up my app and I was like, I don't know, what do we want to do now? Rise of the Resistance is still down. And then right as I said that, it like my app spun a little bit on the Disney app, and it showed, and it was like Rise of the Resistance had a 25-minute wait all of a sudden, which means it's no longer closed. So I was like, Beck, it's open. So and like all of us, we just like book it. And you can tell like people were like looking at their app and realizing, because it was like this flood of people that started to just kind of like quickly walk, and then you watch other people like start to like maybe more like jog, and so you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna jog. And it's a little crazy and a little ridiculous, but we got there and we only had like a 45-minute wait, and it, like I said, it's normally like a 2 to 3 hour wait, so it was pretty cool.
Wow, that's pretty
and
cool.
That ride, like, man, I don't want to spoil it for you, but that ride is something else. Like you really feel like you're in the movie. You're getting chased by Kylo Ren. His like lightsabers coming through the wall in different spots, and they shoot. I don't know how Disney does it, but like they make the walls blow up, and then obviously like for the next group of riders, it somehow like gets all like there's pieces that look like they're all over the floor. So it's just the Disney magic, you know? And so obviously they're not, and it's just like an illusion, but man, I'd bet money there was, but obviously it's not, because they must all get put back for the next riders. So I don't know. It is a special place, and it was as cool. It was way cooler than I had actually assumed it would be.
So how was the journey? Because you sent me like you were like 2,400 and something miles. Was that a round trip?
That's round trip. Yeah, that's round trip. Yeah, 2,413 miles round trip. We did take a little pit stop to visit some family members in Ohio, which made it about 150 miles longer than it had to be. Maybe 200 miles longer than it had to be, something like that.
It's just a drop in the ocean.
Well, I mean, yeah, when you're doing that track, it wasn't too bad. I mean, there were.
How did the Kona do? Because it's a Kona you have now, isn't it?
Yeah. We have a Pacifica. We could have taken this gigantic van, but we were like, wow, the gas mileage on the van's like 23, 24 miles a gallon, and the Kona's like almost 40. And so we were like, well, so we shoved all the kids and all the suitcases in this little Hyundai Kona, and we drove it down. And, it worked out. Like, it was tough, like at times, because kids are like dragging out stuffed animals. I'm like, no. You get 2. Okay. I was like, you do not understand how tight it is about to be in there. I was like, you get 2 stuffed animals, and that is it. And so you're trying to like find places. Luckily, like Ariel's still small enough that we were able to use like the bottom section of her like where she would sit, because her feet don't actually reach the ground.
The footwell.
Yeah.
I do that with Logan all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, right, that's getting the small suitcases going in that footwell.
Yeah, exactly. So there were things we were able to cheat because Ariel was a bit younger. Like if they were older teenagers, I don't know that it would work. It'd just be a little too tight. But they're 10 and 8, and so it all kind of worked out. And it was great to have the safety features of the Kona. It's got the beepy things for the lanes and all that, letting you know who's there, who's not there. A lot more safety features than our 2017 Pacifica had. So it was a journey. I don't like if given again. I don't know we would do it again, but I'm sure glad we did it at least once. I'll say that. Like if we go back down there, which we want to go back down for Universal in 2 years when Super Mario World opens up. So.
If I could convince Lindsay to pay for us to go to Super Mario World, and I think I could. I think if I like mentioned it to Logan and said it enough, yeah, that would be like the trip of a lifetime. Hey, look, it's gonna like Universal will go to Mario and we can meet Nick. That'd be like, yes. Man. I mean, what would I be? I'm 38 this year. Oh, 2 years, that'd be my 40.
You got a way to do it.
Cherries are lining up. But yeah, so and you anyway, that complete freaking squirrel moment there, and I'm far too excited. Oh my god, that'd be so fucking amazing.
It would be awesome to meet at Super Mario World. Oh man, that'd be something right there.
Yeah, I could wear my Luigi costume.
You know what you need to do? Well, we probably need to talk about, like what's going on with your facial hair. What's going on with your face, Sean?
So it's going. So Jaya's 18th birthday is this weekend. So she turns 18 on Saturday. We have a fancy dress party tomorrow. Logan's going as Mario. I didn't know what to go as. It's 80s themed, and So he's gone as Mario because Mario was like late 80s. Yeah. So he gets away with that. So I thought, I'll go. I went through. I'll go as Ghostbusters. I'll go as this. I'll go as. I think at one point it was Top Gun, but then I've never watched Top Gun. Don't shoot me. I've never watched the film. So into that, why don't you just go as Luigi? Like Mario, Logan's going as Mario. You go as Luigi. It's like that's fantastic. So I looked for all these different costumes you could buy, and like there were cheap ones. There were like more expensive ones that came with like mustaches that you kind of clipped into your nose and stuff. So I opted for piecing together. So I've got like a green long sleeve t-shirt. I bought a Luigi cap with the L on, like a proper flat peak baseball cap.
Mm-hmm.
Bought some proper blue, like dungaree style work overalls. So like I look pretty legit. So I kind of thought I will try and grow a mustache. I will grow a mustache for the costume. So this bit here is like it's really long and fluffy. It's uncomfortable. Like yeah, it's driving me nuts because it itches. But the rest of it is like a week's growth. The old caterpillar, but underneath the nose is about 2 weeks old. So tomorrow I will complete clean shave. I'll post a picture to X of what it looks like. Mm-hmm. But
not a complete. You mean like everything but the mustache?
Yeah, everything but the mustache is good. So like all the like the stuff that covers the many chins and the jowls is all going tomorrow.
What do you mean?
Got more chins than the Chinese phone book. Sorry, that was a really bad joke.
We apologize. Please don't cancel us.
Yeah. Oh no.
So yeah, I think I can't wait to see just the mustache in the costume and everything. I wanna know. I want a picture of what this looks like, for sure. And then what I was getting at is, but I needed to preface it first. Then you can tell Lindsay, listen, we're gonna go to Super Mario World. I just need to see how thick I can make this baby. We just need to see.
What nobody understands is that I would, if given the opportunity, I have to be clean shaven for work. I have to, like, unless like for religious reasons and medical reasons, I have to be clean shaven for work, and I can't really. I would love nothing more than to be completely bald on my head and have a full ZZ top beard. I have the persistence and the commitment to do that. So like this is easy. Like everybody's like, oh, this is you're gonna look like an idiot. It's gonna be awful. I'm like, no, I don't care. I'm going for it. So not only that, but my father-in-law has paid money to have a real hair mustache. It has to be used with latex glue, and I thought if I can outdo his mustache with a real mustache.
Mm-hmm.
And then the day after the party, we're going for like a big family meal together. If he can't remove the latex mustache, it's going to be even more funny. We'll sit there, both of us together with mustaches while we're having barbecue food.
Yeah, it'll be pretty fantastic. Also, we talked about this, but having another man's hair on my face, there's something about it. I don't know. Like it's a real hair mustache. That means it's a real. Like if I was you, I legit would have trouble not being like, hey, do you know where they got that hair from? Because I don't. Do you?
Oh, it's good. I haven't asked the question yet, but after a few beers tomorrow, it's definitely going to be the first thing I say to him. It's like, so which part of a man do you think that came from? Just somebody else's pubis under your nose.
That's the worst. That's the worst thought ever. But you never know. You don't know. That's the thing. And maybe it's okay because what you don't know
don't hurt you.
Possibly hurt you, but at least you don't know it hurts you, I guess. I don't know. That's the best I can do with that. All right. Anyway. That's enough, Sean. Do some housekeeping.
This is what happens when me and Nick don't get to talk for 2 weeks. No, it's just carnage. There's so much to catch up on. There was like his whole entire trip, because not only was Disney not the pinnacle, but you went to Buc-ee's on the way, and
we didn't even talk about Buc-ee's. Yeah, don't have time for that. But that's a place you got to go.
Yeah, it looked like a dreamland, and it's just amazing. We have nothing like that. Like I even joked, I was like, the best you're going to get is some overpriced Marks and Spencer's flapjack. That's about as good as it gets in the UK. So, but anyway, yeah, we have talked about. We have caught up enough for the podcast. We should have maybe spent a little bit more time before we start recording, but hey ho. So I will quickly go through our housekeeping, because we have to do that every week. It's nice to do it. Gives everybody an idea of where they can find things, where they can kind of help us out as well. So If you have any social networking app, and I mean Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, everything is at GPT Gaming News. If you go there, you're going to get the latest and the greatest of news. Every breaking news bulletin, especially the Amazon stuff that came out literally within 30 seconds of it being dropped on the Amazon and Xbox website. It came out. They were really fast on that. So well done, the social team. Thank you very much. If you've got any thoughts, any questions, you can join our public Discord. The link will be somewhere in the chat. It's also going to be somewhere in the descriptions, where you can talk to me. You can talk to Nick. You can ask him all about Buc-ee's and the amazing food that he got there, and the fun that he had while he was out on his travels. Or you can just sit and you can chat with among over 2,000 different members about what games you're playing, what games you're looking forward to, what games you're missing out on, because we still haven't got all the Activision stuff yet, which could be coming in the very near future. If you're liking what you're hearing in this episode, and you have maybe trawled back and looked at some other episodes, we'd love for you to leave us a review on your go-to podcast app of choice. I personally use Spotify, which hasn't got the review style rating, but you have some stars that you can do. But if you go and you give us some love, it helps reach us more fans, helps us reach us and grow. We wouldn't be a Game Pass show without promoting Xbox itself. So Xbox Game Pass. If you love Game Pass and you love our show and you want to show your support, head to the link in the description and you can sign up to Game Pass from the Xbox.com website. You'll not only be supporting us, the Game Pass Tracker Show, but you'll also be signing up to the best gaming subscription going. So just sign up to whatever label you want, either PC Game Pass Core or Game Pass Ultimate, which is by far my favorite version to have, by the way. But just go and play your own way by using the code in the chat or the show notes. You'll help us continue to grow. We're affiliated with that via the link, so it helps put a little bit of pennies in our pockets to make great things happen for you guys. And helps the show continue to grow so we can do more things for you guys. I think that's everything when it comes to the housekeeping. So if you want to take us into the X feed and we'll start talking about the top stories for this.
Top stories. That's right. We're here. Great job, Sean. We got top stories, news bulletins, and our feature story. But first, 5 top stories. We're going to be talking about Xbox bringing cloud gaming to the Amazon Fire TV stick, but only a particular stick, right?
2 particular sticks.
2 particular sticks.
Which annoys me a little bit because I have one. I have a Fire Stick. I have the Fire Stick HD, I think, which is the 2019 version. I think I got it in and amongst COVID because obviously that's when we sat inside and watched a lot of TV. So you need to have the Amazon Fire Stick 4K or the 4K Max, which is the 2023 and above versions. You can currently get hold of those. $60 for the 4K Max and $50 for the normal 4K. But there is Amazon Prime Day is coming up in the middle of July, which is like the 13th to the 16th of July, I believe.
For us, it's 16th to the 17th.
16th to the 17th.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that's everybody, but
it usually does fall on everybody at the same time, I think.
Yeah, July 16th through the 17th. Then.
Yeah. So there's a 24-hour period where you can go and you'll more than likely get some percentage of money off from these products. So I'd wait till then, capitalize on more games for your book, basically. But you need one of those 2 devices. I don't entirely sure. We tried to look at this before we went live. If it was coming to the actual Fire TV application, if you were to buy an Amazon Fire TV, but we couldn't find any concrete. So it's currently looking like the only way going forward is to have one of those 2 sticks. You can then download the Xbox app directly to the Fire Stick and pair your Xbox controller as long as it's Bluetooth pairable. So as far as I believe, that is any of the Elite controllers, the Series S and the Series X controller, or any third-party controller that is licensed with Xbox. So we had that whole debacle a couple of episodes ago that only certain controllers now work for a period of eternity. Basically, there is ones that will work for 3 weeks, and then it'll, because it's an unlicensed product, will no longer work. So, because as long as it's a licensed Bluetooth compatible device, that it should work. And then you can play as many different cloud games as you like. Obviously, that all relies on you having decent internet. So, like the people like Nick who have like a million miles an hour internet, it's fantastic. He can plug that in anywhere he wants as long as his Wi-Fi signal is strong. And I would look at getting the 4K Max because that is the best in terms of onboard graphics and kind of processing, and it's also got the best Wi-Fi.
That's an
receiver.
important part right there. What's got the best Wi-Fi
Yeah, I think it's
adapter?
the 6. Is it 6E? I think it's called something like that.
Okay, I'll
But
take
yeah,
your word for it.
so and you can play anything that's available via cloud. You can play. I'm looking at this very closely. My eldest daughter is going to university in September. She plays a lot of Fortnite with her friends. She does a lot of the festival stage kind of stuff. She's on a 1S at the moment, and she's kind of limited to what she can use power wise. She only has so many units per month or per year, so she can get a Fire Stick which powers off the TV, and she can play Fortnite via the cloud with her friends. This might be the way forward for her rather than having a separate console, which kind of does it because she so I'm gonna be watching this closely. I have the 4K Max in my Amazon basket at the moment. It's going to sit there until Prime Day, and I'll probably drop some cash on getting one, and then I'll try it out. And when that happens, because I think it's back end of July that this becomes available, then I will report back and see how it goes.
Nice. I will say, ironically, so I while you were chatting, I was searching for Fire Stick controllers. The number one of the controllers, and not the number one, but one of the controllers that can be used with the Fire Stick, according to this, is the Luna controller. So now that is pretty sweet. So all you people who have a Luna controller, you thought it was just a paperweight. No. Now you can use it to play Xbox games with your Fire Stick. According to this article came out November of 2023. So it's fairly new. So there you go.
And as far as I remember, the Luna controllers are actually pretty good for latency as well when it comes to Bluetooth input. So that's quite a good shout. And if you have one laying around, just dust it off, stick some batteries in it, and away you go.
Yeah, man. So there you have. I'm excited about this. It would be another way for us to play, for me to play games with Noah. He could play on the like xCloud, and I could use the actual Xbox. So I think there's a lot of uses for it. I could bring the Xbox back down here and just use xCloud upstairs, or maybe vice versa. I'd probably do vice versa. But I really want to know if you can have a TV, because if I need another TV down here, this TV is not doesn't hold its own anymore. I think it's like 1040 is all this is. And so even like the fonts and the, like when I look at a document, they're kind of blurry. So I need a new one. So if I could get an Amazon Fire TV, I'd be all down for that. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, it might be worth just shooting an email. So
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I'm gonna shoot Amazon.
I wouldn't have guessed otherwise. The exciting part for me is this is like, and it might have been last year when the thing in Phil's office appeared.
Yeah,
and you're like,
the key or this,
and the internet,
whatever it was called. I can't remember.
Yeah, the internet went absolutely crazy. Is this their way of entering into that world of you can play this anywhere? Because we do it sometimes. We will, like, if we go away and we stop in a lodge or something like that, we always take the Fire Stick with us because it's direct HDMI. It powers off the TV's USB because it only needs 5 volts from a USB, and most TVs produce a pretty good 5 volt power rating at the back anyway via USB. We're already logged into all our subscriptions and stuff like that are already logged into Paramount, Amazon Prime, Netflix, all that kind of stuff. And we do that. So now all I have to do is just take a controller with me, and if like it's just me and Lindsay stopping somewhere in our lodge, and she's chilling out in she goes for a bath, she goes for a nap and stuff like that. I can kick out and play some games and stuff like that. This to me is the entry into that world for Xbox. They haven't had to make their own hardware. They have now done and gone and installed the application, as we said, onto a device.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure why they didn't come out with their own streaming device. They said it was too expensive, as I recall. It didn't meet what the price point that they wanted to make. Is how I think how they put it out there. Maybe this was the issue. They were looking at making one of their own, and they said, "Why do we want to do this? Why do we want to?" People already have these. These are already tried and true. We can work with Amazon. Unfortunately for me, we kind of chose Roku a long time ago in the streaming battles, and so we have Rokus all throughout the house. So that's unfortunate.
So you chose the Betamax of the VHS.
Yeah,
Betamax.
exactly. So bummer for me, but that's okay. But I do think that maybe this was the thing. They were like, well, listen, this is more expensive than we thought it was going to be. We're either one, going to sell it at a loss. Two, we got to try to get people to pick it up and do this when they already have options in their home that they're using. So let's just wait and have them do that. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think I could see that being the reason.
The project they were working on was the Keystone project. Just so
I knew it was Key something. I couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah. But yeah, that's exactly what I think they've done. They've gone, how much do we need to do R&D on building our own streaming device, and then have it be picked up by people who have probably already got a console or two, and they have a plug-in streaming device like a Fire Stick, because that's how we operate. Our TV is a smart TV, and we could probably just go straight to Amazon via the TV. We have a Fire Stick. I think the reasoning behind that was that the actual AI speaker, whose name cannot be spoken because she'll just take over the world, sits next to me. It worked with that, so we can operate the AI via voice command to play stuff on the TV, which is great. The kids love that. Logan uses it all the time. Just hear him shouting in the living room. It's funny. But yeah, I already have all those. So rather than using the Keystone project, I can now just, like I said, I just pair my Xbox Series X controller to the Fire Stick, and away I go.
Now, there was a TV. Is it Samsung? Was it Samsung that they're currently working with?
Yes.
Okay.
So Samsung, you can download the Xbox app directly to it, pair your controller to the TV, and do it that way. But I think it was like the 2020. You needed a 2022 or 2023 TV.
Yeah.
So
do you think they got, like, Samsung got a year's exclusivity on that app or something like that? Because that's kind of what it feels like to me. Because it was, I believe, Summer Game Fest last year that they unveiled that. So it feels like they got a year head start with everybody else, and now it's kind of that's over, and Xbox can bring it to other things.
Yeah, possibly, or because it was, I don't know, installing an application to the TV is the same as doing it to a Fire Stick. So yeah, probably. I think there might have been a bit of a bidding war. There could have been something in the fine print when it came to the FTC and the CMA that was kind of like, you can't have it on a small device, but there's nothing stopping you from having it on a TV or a device like that. So there could have been some fine print in there, because I don't think, unless you want to dig through all the kind of information that and be able to understand it and digest it, that there was probably some kind of explanations in there somewhere. But
yeah, I wonder about that. But I'm excited for it. I'm with Sean. Fire Stick, I think, is going to get some sales, because Sean and I are both buying one.
You're going to say that Prime Day comes, and usually Prime Day is up to like 30% off.
Yeah, especially on Amazon. On Amazon products, those usually get a deep discount on Prime Day. So I mean, a lot of stuff gets a discount, but Amazon stuff, you're pretty assured is going to be discounted. So it'll be interesting to see how that all rolls out, how well it works, and all that jazz. Second story number 2, Hellblade 2 apparently failed to crack top 100 game sales in Europe last month. Do you think this is an issue for Xbox, for Hellblade, for Game Pass? What do you think what do you think's here?
I don't think it's much of an issue in terms of that. The game did pretty well in terms of people downloading and playing it. If you want to go on pure sales, anybody that's going to play this game will have already had Game Pass, more than likely. So for them, anybody outside of that to purchase it either went and got a 3-month trial of Game Pass or just signed up to Game Pass rather than buying the game. And this is that double-edged sword that you kind of have with putting big titles like this onto your subscription service. You're going to have lots of people playing it, but at the same time, you aren't going to make a lot of revenue from people buying it. So,
yeah, your revenue is hopefully long. You're playing the long game, hoping you're going to keep revenue from Game Pass. Interesting to see if that actually happens. We know a couple of people who are really good at dipping into Game Pass, playing the game, and getting back out.
Oh, Johnny.
Yeah, which is a smart strategy if you can do that. Like if you can delve into a game and drill down and finish it and be done with it and get out. I mean, not great for Xbox, but you're not here to make Xbox money. You're here to enjoy some games at whatever price you can get it at. That's the lowest. So, I don't have any issue with it. It's their model, and you're just using it.
I mean, it's people like me. I am one of those people that will sign up to something, and then like the free trial will come up, and I'm like, I forgot about it. Whoops. Then the first payment goes out, and then you kind of like kick yourself because that first payment's gone out, and then the second payment goes out, and you're like, well, I actually quite enjoy using the service. And then you like Paramount. I have Paramount now.
Too.
I pay for it.
Yep.
50, but I have it at 50% off at the moment, and I'm gonna see if I get like another code when I say like, oh no, cancel after the 50% period, because there wasn't anything on there I was watching until the other night, and I started watching Twisted Metal, and I quite enjoyed that. That was quite cool. So yeah, but no, they hope for people like me that just kind of sign up on a free period, start to enjoy playing it, kind of forget that the period's coming up to an end, and then which usually is a 3 months, so you pay like $3.99 for 3 months, and you kind of forget at the end of that period that you've spent £4 and got over 150 different games, lots of AAA titles. You get to that period and you kind of forget, and it goes out, and you're like, well, I'm enjoying what I'm doing, so screw it. So
yeah, I would like to say there is the top 10 that they have down here for Europe for May. Hogwarts Legacy is still fucking on that list.
It's just recently had a pretty good update as well, so a lot of people are excited.
I just can't believe that game just. And I love. Excuse me. I love that they are like, yeah, Hogwarts Legacy 2. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it live service. And it's like, why? You are making so much money off of this obvious hit, and you're like, nah, we'll make the next one live service. Screw it.
What I like even more is that the top 10, you have Grand Theft Auto 5 at number 2, which is a 10-year-old game, and then at number 8, you have Red Dead Redemption 2. So Rockstar are still killing it with 2 10-year-old games.
Yep. Yeah, they're just like money's just rolling in, man. They're like Scrooge McDuck of the video game world. Exactly. It's crazy. But
yeah, I mean, also says a lot when you're looking at the list of games here, and you've got EA Sports FC 2024, which is FIFA basically, which is always in Europe because of football and Premier League and all that kind of stuff. I almost said soccer ball, but I don't want to get us like lynched. Sorry,
my daughter just got home from football. Maradona soccer here.
I don't know. It's the Euros 2024, and I haven't watched a single England game yet. So go soccer ball. But no, you've got EA Sports 24, you've got F1 2024, And then you've got your niche markets underneath that with Helldivers 2, which I wish would come